feature presentation.
This is Ed McMahon. And now, here's Andrew.
Andrew Z. Call up that Andrew Z. I said Andrew Z. In the morning, it's time to wake up. Andrew Z. In the morning, yeah. Come on.
What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to the show. It is Thursday, February 18th. I see it. Welcome, everybody. Demetrius Nicodemus, Chris Tiefel, Donny P,
Double
Ashley
thumbs.
P,
I guess I'll do it too.
Georgia, and Gina will join us in just a couple minutes. It's time to get the show started right now.
Andrew Z. In the morning.
Woo! Morning, everyone. Good morning. Do
Babe, I
sound
feel
okay?
like that's the main reason they have you on the show is just for that part of the intro.
Yeah, you can leave it out.
Yes.
Just to
See you
get-
guys.
Gets us started. Bye, Donnie. That's all he's going to do every morning.
Mhm.
Come back, Donnie. We miss you already. We already miss you. There he is. We miss him.
I was joking. I said I think
everyone?
that's the main reason. I didn't say the only.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
Oh,
What's going on, everybody?
It's Thursday.
Oh, no.
Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like Thursday, though, does it?
No,
No, it feels
because-
like Tuesday.
because when we had the day off, I thought that if the day after felt like Monday, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Wow, it's already Wednesday." I'm so confused right now. But that's what happens when you have a random snow day in the middle of the week. So, anyway,
Demetrius probably knows that it's Thursday because he didn't take the day off.
I
So
know.
he's
Demetrius-
well aware
I-
of what day of the week it
he
is.
broadcast
didn't.
for an hour to his kid.
No. I just went outside, yelled at the snow for an hour.
Let's see. I think you got to turn your mic up, D. Did anyone else think that or not?
I heard.
I
Sound
think
fine
it's
there,
fine.
everyone else? Okay, all right.
Mhm.
That was good.
So I have a buddy. His name is Zach, and he's one of those.
Is he a
guys-
good buddy?
I don't know. I don't know what that means. But he loves to drop nuggets of wisdom that he comes up with himself. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll see if I've seen it on Facebook before.
Yes. Ashley, I would definitely go to you for the expertise. But here's the thing: they don't really make sense.
Oh, those are good ones.
We talked about the other day. Giving our kids nuggets of advice that don't make sense just to screw with them. But I think he does it I have no idea what reason. But here's one of Zach's. Here's a Zachism for you. It's a cold world. Wear a coat, and when you're in the kitchen, cook something. That's it. That's the whole thing.
I like that.
That's
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 good.
not wisdom. That's
That's
just
very
that's
practical.
telling you what. That's just telling you what you should do in a given situation.
Okay.
No, that's a good one. That's like, what did you call it? Shit or get off the pot. I mean, yeah. If you're in the
I
kitchen,
love
cook
that
something,
saying. That's
or
one
get
my
out of the
favorites.
way.
Okay.
But what if I just said me?
So maybe it's just my mind is too simple. Maybe that's why.
No, it's not. He's a walking modern day fortune cookie, and I
Yeah.
hate modern day fortune cookies.
I mean,
because
that
they
wisdom-
do.
that wisdom is basically what when driving your car, check your rear view. Like that's what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
No, it's if you're in your car, go somewhere.
Yeah.
That's the same thing.
That's exactly what you're already doing because you're in your car.
Not necessarily. No, not necessarily.
Who
You might
gets
be
in
in your
your car
car,
and is
but you're
not
going nowhere,
anywhere?
bro.
By definition, you are going
Dude.
somewhere.
You gotta look at
driving.
sometimes that's the only cone of silence you can find.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another one. Today's Valentine's Day, and if you don't have a Valentine, it's for one reason: you're flippin' fuggling boy. You're flipping fugly, boy. You're flipping fugly, boy.
Oh, that's a funny one too. I mean, they're
Wow.
funny, so I see why they're good. And yes, these are actually original. I've never seen these anywhere else.
Thank God.
Here's
Yeah.
another one.
I'm just regular ugly.
I'm not sweet, if you know what I mean. I just look this way.
Okay.
The hell? Stop. All right. Okay.
Can we see a picture of this
All right.
dude?
Is this
First one was
like,
good.
I'll send
Can
it
I
to
just ask you, is this
Lord.
like what you're doing to even out the universe after the half hour of Abraham Lincoln talk
Yeah.
we had yesterday? Is this so we go to random nut job who likes to spit out words and we put them in sentences? Is this what we're doing
Motivation
now?
and
Hey, really quick.
self-realization.
But
Wait.
I thought Andrew like did it because it was President's Day on Monday? Like maybe he really thought he was following a theme.
No,
Right?
no, I just did it because I watched it. You guys asked me. I remember.
Yeah.
You asked
We
me.
never asked you about what you watched on TV.
No,
Well, we didn't ask for a half an hour
Of Lincoln.
side
Wait,
like a,
Lincoln.
You know what,
Okay.
everybody? When you're mowing the grass, just remember to stop and smell it.
that's a
good one.
That would be a
I mean,
Zachsism.
That's it. It makes absolutely no sense.
It makes all perfect sense. All right, we don't have to talk about how much sense it makes. It makes so much sense that it's blowing everyone's mind. That's why they're popular.
That is very possible.
People, I think it's stop and smell the roses, not
Here's
the
another one for
grass.
you. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. We all die one day. I want you to know angels don't fly my way.
Yes.
Thanks for bringing me down.
Yes.
I want you to know angels don't fly my way was what he added.
That's him. That's Zach.
Let me see. I gotta.
I like the Rockets
Yeah, that's
tattoo.
Zach. That's
That
Zach.
yes, that
That is
is exactly what I would have pictured him to look like. That's awesome.
Here's
It's brought
Like,
by bath salts.
another
I
one.
feel
for
like
you.
he's in multiple recovery programs.
He
Aw,
is.
well, if he is, then that's
He is.
amazing.
That's good.
Yeah.
No, that's good for him on that. But
Here
I
you
think that's
go.
where he's getting his fortune cookie wisdom.
Well, listen, when you've got a lot of time of sobriety and like sitting around and thinking, sometimes this shit just comes to you.
He's done prison stints too. So I think that's and actually that's where we met was in prison.
Awesome.
you weren't in
Oh.
prison.
First of all,
You were in county overflow.
no. but let's just don't ever say that's how we met. When you say that's how we met, there's a tinge of like romance in that, like we met, like that's how we met. We met in prison, and now we have this. Yeah, okay. I would have said, you know what? It's funny. I saw him in the halls of an institution, and he slipped me what I thought was a note, but it was one of these ridiculous sentences, and I stayed away from him until I left that institution.
Dude, just think if you're away for a while and your cellmate is slipping you these fucking notes in the morning, dude, that's gonna motivate you to get through the next day. I
Well,
think.
no, it's not. You know what it's going to do? It's going to motivate me not to go to sleep at night because I don't know if he just slipped me notes in the morning. Guess what? He's going to be trying to slip me in the middle of the night. This shit is not happening.
Listen,
Zach,
Those are
sometimes
rad.
you just gotta let nature take its course.
So Zach, he's a good guy. I like Zach. And he came to me and said I used to listen to you all the time, and we used to walk the track, and he would give me these wisdoms in person.
Aw.
Here's another one.
You know what, Andrew? I'll give you this.
What?
You are popular amongst the jailed population. So I did a show over at the Toledo prison once, and afterwards they had all recognized me from your show because they listened to it on the rig.
Oh, look at that!
Oh, I would have thought you said they added 5 more years to their sentence because you just picked everything apart. Like, really, you guys are all guilty here, right?
Yeah.
Everyone.
So we had rules. We weren't allowed to mention that we were in prison as if they forgot. We weren't allowed to talk about why they were in prison. And I also got booed off stage twice.
Nice.
Wow, what the hell
'cause-
did you say?
Well, no, it was doing my regular set.
I'm sure it was Chris being Chris. I mean, that's
it was me just doing my regular set, but it was.
What does that say when people who are confined, who crave entertainment, were like, "No, bro, send me back to my cell."
Yeah, it was crazy. It's like we get there now. I expected because prison, right? There'd be some sort of barrier between me and the prison, and me and the prisoners. We get there, and it's like a high school auditorium room.
Yeah.
And so they're just like folding chairs, and it's like a reward for good behavior, but it's like a mix of like robbers and like robbers and assaults, and I think there was like one murderer in there, and it was like a reward for good behavior.
What did you think you were going to do?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Is I thought there would be like some sort of separation, but there wasn't. It was like a high school auditorium.
They were like
sort of situation.
Instead of hearing this guy, can we go back and watch that episode of First 48?
Yeah.
How about I confess to that murder I've been fighting just so I can get.
I want to get moved.
Well, I said,
Move me.
I did my set, and partway through, that's when the booing off the stage happened, and then later on, the MC was like, "Hey, you guys want to give the white guy a chance again?" And they were like, "Yeah." And it turns out they only brought me back up to boo me off stage a second time.
Fun.
And then afterwards, I figured again, because it's a prison, like there would be like a whistle, and they'd all have to get up, single file line, maybe like kindergarten with their fingers in the belt loop of the person in front of them, get out. No, we mingled. We mingled. There was they were just kind of around, and we were all of a sudden just prisoners all around me, and we were talking and everything. And then that's when they told me they recognized me from Andrew Z's show, and they're like, "You're funny. You're funny. You're just not funny for this crowd."
Yeah,
they were critiquing me. I was getting critiqued. I've been in
They're
prison.
roasting you.
Constructive criticism goes a long way.
Oh,
well, obviously. Tiefel, how did it make you feel? Were you embarrassed?
No, I wasn't embarrassed, but it is an experience to get booed off stage. But I was nervous just because, it's a prison. And then when I got there, like I made a lot of assumptions, like there was going to be a barrier. There wasn't a barrier. So there was nervousness on my part, but it did drive home to me at the time the racial disparity of imprisonment, because me and the warden were the only two white dudes in the entire goddamn room.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder they didn't think you were funny.
It was crazy. Like I'm sitting there and I'm like, holy shit, that they're right.
Tiefel, you're barely funny for white people. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding.
God damn!
Don't say just
God,
kidding.
that little mousy Ashley P coming in with the kill.
Don't say just kidding. That's great. Don't say just kidding.
Oh,
all right. Here's another.
I'm totally joking. You're funny.
No, Ashley, don't ever go back and apologize. That was
that was way too good, Ashley. You don't need to apologize for that one.
Here's another.
I mean, he's been booed off stage. He's totally fine getting it from me.
Another question for you. I'll show you my discovery packets if you show me yours.
You're still gonna ride this horse, huh?
Oh.
This is the horse.
I think we're done.
There's nothing.
You can't cut off in the middle of wisdom.
You're right. I'm sorry. Maybe this is the one that's gonna change my life.
Thanks, Josh.
Listen, if you said a prayer last night for a message from Jesus, consider this it this morning. So listen carefully, everyone.
I don't know if Jesus would choose Andrew Z as his messenger.
I'll show you my discovery packets if you show me yours.
I don't even know what that means.
I'm not done. Just saying, let's be like Dora and do some exploring.
All right. I love it.
Okay.
Here you go.
What?
Listen. Listen, you don't run from where you come from. End of story.
Can we go back to Chris's prison show?
That was a good juicy story though.
Because there's so many things. Like you could have, Chris, when you were done, you could have been like, and unlike you, I'm out. But
it was an experience.
Hold on.
I can either do two more, or I have some Lincoln facts that I can drop on you.
I think two more or one is good.
or one.
What do you? Oh, how do you choose between?
I've been to the place where the sidewalk ends. Believe that. It's tatted on me.
Oh.
Really? A Judy Blume book?
What are we doing right now?
Is it Shel
I know
Silverstein?
I'm late for the party, but I don't understand what Andrew's
Poor Gina.
saying. He sounds like a broken fortune cookie. Like, what is happening right now?
I've been to the place where the sidewalk ends. It's on.
You and
it's on the
Demetrius said
trail,
the same thing.
and it's
Oh,
just
that's
grass
fun.
after that.
It's a
I don't
friend of
understand
mine.
what's going on.
It's a friend of mine that he drops Zachisms. His name is Zach. He drops Zachisms on his page.
So far, the first one was good.
The first, but Donny, we've done like
I love
5 or 6.
I love the first one.
Come on, end it on a high note. Come on.
Shit. Okay.
Is this the guy you met in jail?
Yes.
Gina,
Okay. Here we go.
She knows so much.
Love it when the random person you never met messages you asking if you're still in the game. Dude, I'm so far out of the game. Like I'm on the retirement village. Like I can't even play because I'm injured. Like I can't even get picked up for a pickup game. Like I plead the fifth about the imaginary game. Like this isn't Zach. He's dead. R.I.P. me.
Oh, deep.
Wow.
That just gave me chills. Whoa.
First, how about this? First of all, if somebody's messaging you about if you're in the game, he's not in the game. You don't do that shit over Messenger.
There's people that even post. They post on their Facebook page about, hey, you want to buy some weed or we want to do whatever.
You know what I see a lot of, which is surprising to me that people would put it like on social media. Like anybody got food stamps, like they're gonna exchange cash for food stamps.
Did you know? I'll drop
Isn't
some
that
wisdom
so
on you.
illegal?
Yes.
Well, they do it all the time, but that's not the point. They do that a lot. But here's the thing that you guys should know, or then maybe not you guys, but the general public should know. Just posting on your Facebook page who has food stamps for sale or I have food stamps for sale is a felony. Just
that's what I
posting
would
that.
think.
You post those words on your Facebook page and it gets back to the wrong people, you are going to be charged with a felony, and they do. They
That's what
actually do
I was
it.
wondering, like, how do you do that? But
Plus, you
I
lose.
mean, people
them.
do it all the time, and yes, they get in trouble for it, but they do it so it's like DUI. They do it so many times before they get caught. For every one time they get caught, they've done it 150 times.
Josh Mosier, our buddy Josh, says, man, I think I'd rather do 30 more minutes of Lincoln than these fortune cookies.
Yes.
When you're doing laundry, don't forget the soap.
Yeah,
so, I mean, that's
that's a good
that's
one.
Genius.
That's a good one.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's just a reminder.
Hey, how many of you guys have started a load of laundry and forgot to shut the lid? And then
I
come
forget
back
to
down
push start.
and then found it sitting in a pool of water, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah,
I forgot to start
or
the dryer.
put food in the crock pot and forget to turn the crock pot on. That is a bit.
Or it came unplugged one day, and so I had like 7 pounds of meat sitting in my crock pot, just sitting there for 3 hours. I was like,
I
hurts
forgot
my
to
heart
turn
for you,
my
actually.
crock pot off.
What?
So like I cooked something in my crock pot, and I got it out, I cleaned it and everything, put it back in there. I hadn't turned it off. I found out like 2 days later it was still warming itself.
It sounds like wasn't there like a This Is Us episode about something like that?
I don't
I
remember.
just know
Andrew
there's a
is
crock
the-
pot involved. I've never seen it.
We're only on season 1, but
I heard that too. Because like,
Colleen came. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ashley.
oh no, that's okay. We like dropped our crock pot once. We've had so many like crock pots situations, but so anyways, it fell and like the metal part of the outside of it like bent. And I was like, whatever. I was telling my friend so randomly, I was like, whatever, I'm just still gonna use it. I'll just get like in the thing that goes inside. And she was like, you've never seen This Is Us, have you? And I was like, no. She's like, don't do it. So all I know is that maybe someone dies.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Over a crock.
There's like a
Georgia's
fire
putting
or
up
something?
spoilers and stuff. So
Oh,
yes.
see?
Georgia.
Yes. Don't you
So-
understand? This is the whole thing. The house fire. I don't even watch This Is Us. I
I don't either.
watch this. That was them. And,
That was him.
yeah, and I do everything that like goes against what they do. So, but yeah, the
Can we all
crockpot
do
fire.
something? Can we all like point to the person next to us so it's like Brady Bunch style really fast? Like Donnie, point upwards. Oh, That's so cool. Okay, I just had to see that.
Is that like on your bucket list or something? Ashley? So random.
You are the most random ass woman.
I love her so much, you guys. I have messaged Donny like a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, because I know Donny pretty well. I've known Donny for a long time, but I'm like, I'm so thankful you're sharing Ashley with us because I really get to know. I love her so much. She's like quickly becoming one of my favorite people.
Connie came up when she said, or put the clothes in the dryer and forget to start it.
Yes, done that so many times.
I've done that.
Yeah.
All right. So I wonder about American. I wonder if this is just an American thing. I was driving yesterday over the noon hour or just before noon and look at every single, I'm driving like from here to like the mall, and I'm taking back roads, not back roads, but like Burn, Secor, whatever. I didn't because I heard
Those sound a lot like main roads.
Yeah,
that sounds like a city road.
These are the main roads in Toledo.
Well, I'm in Petersburg. 475 would be the straight route, but I knew that there was an accident on 475, so I took the other roads, and I passed like 5 McDonald's, and every single one of them has cars out to the driveway. And I'm like, I don't understand. What is our obsession with shitty food? Like, there's no one that says, oh my God, McDonald's has the best. No one has ever said McDonald's
French fries.
They have the best fries, and yes, they do.
Okay, fries.
And they have really good fountain pop.
But fries is just an accoutrement. That's not a main dish. Like, you're not going.
Andrew, you can't sit here in judgment of that. You didn't get fat off of home cooking.
but you don't go there for the accoutrement. You go there for the main meal. You're never like, oh my God, that burger is the best.
Yeah, actually,
I haven't had McDonald's in over a year, and I'm still fat, Tiefel. So that theory doesn't hold up.
Yeah, but you've lost weight in that time too.
McDonald's.
No, I've gained.
McDonald's food is shitty and there's a long line. Taco Bell food is shitty and there's a long. Why do we wait in line for shitty food? There's so much good food out there. Why do we wait for shitty food?
Look, first of all, you're insulting Ashley so badly right now.
Yeah.
Why don't you just put a dagger through my heart while you're at it?
Over 1 billion served would disagree.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You know what? I don't think so. I don't think anybody would say this is the best burger I ever had. I think a billion people would say it's good and it's the quickest burger I can get. Like I'll tell you, there was a lot of about to eating be happening yesterday, but the cold took care of that. And if it didn't have a window that I could get it handed to me through, I wasn't fucking with it. Exactly. Like, if I had to get out of my car other than to walk into my house, like that was not happening. My family would starve.
So you're saying because they have the drive-through, that's the only reason we put up with shitty food because you don't have to get out of your car.
It's so good. Have you had a Big Mac? You guys? I just had a Big Mac like 6 days ago, and it was the best thing I have ever eaten.
I make them at home.
I just had a
I
sausage,
can make it at home too, and it's garbage. I've had it at home. You guys,
you can't just jump in. You got to let me grab you, or otherwise you're talking over people and we can't hear you. Go ahead, Donny.
So for the people that are hating on the fast food, are you just ordering off the dollar menu, or are you getting, like Ashley said, are you getting the Big Mac, the Whopper? Are you getting the chili cheese burrito?
Are you getting a meal deal?
See, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair that we bring the Palicki's into this conversation because the Palicki's attack restaurants in a way that I have never seen a family attack a restaurant before. Like, I was sitting at a Mexican restaurant with Donny and Ashley and the brood, and Donny flipped open the menu. And I'm a person who, when I go to a restaurant, there's probably 3 things you're guaranteed that I'm gonna order. I don't really go out of my comfort zone when it comes to certain restaurants. Donny flipped open this menu and he looked at me and he goes, and he runs his finger down each panel and he goes, "I've had that. I've had this." He goes, "I've had that." He goes, "There's this one tower of meat thing that I'm gonna get, but I ain't ready for it yet." Like he literally has eaten everything. He tries everything off the menu. Everything.
That's interesting. I'm like you. Most people have their go-tos. It's you don't go more than maybe 2 or 3 deep. But Donnie, you'll hit everything on there, huh?
So
that's very interesting.
Yeah. So we've been to Cinco de Mayo so many times that I had the same thing a ton of times. So basically, I started trying other stuff, and once in a while, like you swing and you miss. It's just like, this is what I ordered. This is what I gotta eat. So there's definitely been a few times where I was like, dang it, I should have just stuck with the go-to 3. But hey, how do I know? What if I try something and it becomes part of the go-to 4? You know what I mean?
Right,
There's only one way to find out.
Babe, didn't you get that thing like the pineapple was like cut in half and it got served in the pineapple? Did you get that?
Yeah, there was like a tower of like shrimp sticking off of it. Yeah.
Every time Donnie's food comes to the table, we're all just like, what did you do?
He's like, I want whatever you got the photographer taking a picture of in the back.
Yeah,
right now.
I'm like a tourist.
Bring that out to me.
I'm like a tourist at the restaurant.
Colleen says, when you're touting the goodness of the Big Mac, Ashley, you're discrediting your cooking career.
I don't really care. My cooking career didn't make me any money anyway, so it's okay. I can accept that.
I just had McDonald's breakfast just now, and that shit is the bomb. I mean, I don't know why you shitting on McDonald's at all.
Well, no, there's no one saying that oh my God, McDonald's, that's the best burger I've ever had. I mean, if you want the best burger, you go to a bar 1-4. I don't know where. Pick your spot. You go to Red Robin. You don't.
I don't even think any of that's good. Sorry.
Well, what? Really?
No, all those burgers are like literally. It's like way too much burger, too little bun, too little toppings.
It sounds to me like you have a small mouth problem. You have a tiny mouth problem, Ashley.
If I could just get some bread with veggies and some mayonnaise, I think that I'd be good. But I like a little bit of meat. So maybe that's why
why you and Donnie are
Hey, Donnie. He's raising his hand for what? To talk or because a little bit of meat thing? Which one?
For my food. We all know Donnie doesn't have little meat. Okay.
I mean, we don't all know that.
He went like this. Donnie signed back in. Yes, we do.
Okay. What else? There was something else. Josh Mosier. Every time we talk about food, which is daily apparently, Josh, we don't have the power to bring back the Mexican pizza. Let it go, bro.
I heard it was coming back.
It'll come back.
The potatoes came back.
Every time, Josh, we talk about food. Josh has to bring up how good the Mexican pizzas were. Like they're not coming back. You just got to let it go, Josh.
They are.
They have all the ingredients. They can still make
Chris, you keep saying that. We understand that they are capable of making it,
but they won't.
Colleen said we did.
If I care enough, they will.
Colleen said we did bully them back into the potatoes, so you don't know.
Yeah,
right. And McDonald's has back the high C orange. I'm telling you guys watch. They're gonna start. Taco Bell's gonna start bringing everything back one thing at a time. Don't worry, it's coming back. I guarantee you, it's coming back. This was all marketing.
Speaking of Mexican restaurants, can you dine in at Cabo Loco?
Yeah. There's 4 seats, so
yeah,
just 4 seats at one table or one. Okay.
So you put the kids at one table and then you have to sit at the other table.
Oh,
Josh says it will rise again. The Mexican pizza, it will rise again.
I don't know. Our Taco Bell over here in this area, both of them were closed for a couple days, so I think they're working on something.
Yeah, they're not working on a Mexican pizza because, as Tiefel pointed out, they already had the ingredients. They don't have to close down for that.
The only
retrain.
The only thing they don't have is the fried flour tortilla. Like I can't think of anything else where they have the fried flour.
You fry it. It's a flour tortilla, and you fry it. It's not hard to get that. Like you can go from flour tortilla to fried flour tortilla in one step.
All right, so it's 7:00. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. We got a special guest on right now. If you remember, we talked about John Myers yesterday. His brother posted on Facebook that he walks to Best Buy every day.
Yes, and Chris pooped all on him.
I pooped on the employer, not him.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So John walks every day to work, no matter what. Never late. Never misses a day. He's there all the time. And Best Buy just announced that they were going to be letting him go in a cost-cutting move. And his brother posted online about how sad it is because his brother loves his job. He loves helping people. And John's on the phone on the show with us right now. Hey, John. Good morning.
Good morning. How's
Hey,
everybody?
buddy.
Good. How are you?
How are
buddy?
you?
A little tired, but what do you know?
Dude, can I tell you, you have the best wall I have ever seen
Yeah.
from anybody. I hands down.
Yeah, just like all Star Wars, Marvel, Wolverine, just everything.
Yes.
Everything in
Yeah.
between.
The dream wall. The dream wall. And look at Demetrius' Spider-Man cup. Do you see that, John? You want that? Don't you? You want that Spider-Man cup, don't you, John?
Just a little bit.
Oh, look at
and Star Wars.
Yeah.
and Star Wars. And Star Wars is there. So John, you're going to work. How much did you, on a 1 to 10, how much did you love your job at Best Buy?
10, honestly.
10? Really?
Yeah.
And what did you do there at Best Buy?
Mainly I worked on the sales floor. Currently work in the mobile department, so activating phones, mainly Apple, because I am the Apple expert currently there. Then before that, I was working in home theater, so I was selling TVs, even sold an 86-inch to Jim Harbaugh, the head coach of Michigan.
How'd you do that?
It's very easy. You just tell him it'll help him score touchdowns.
Well, I more like
you can sell him anything then.
Sort of more like I'm a Michigan fan. I want to see you be happy. So
John, bro,
happiness, and then you bring that happiness to the Michigan team and beat Ohio State. Pretty cool.
John. I love you, and I want you to understand that I have a deep respect for you as a person, and what motivates you as an individual. But your choice in football teams in which you choose to throw your support behind, I can only describe as sucks. But
yeah,
don't listen to him, John. Don't.
Too, so
I know, Bubba.
Okay, so John, you sell now. I don't understand because I think the mobile phone department is probably a big piece of Best Buy's business, and you are the Apple expert, which is probably the number one selling phone. Why would they get rid of you after 7 years?
I mean, they just kind of went through basically not just me, but all the full-timers throughout the company and basically let them go. And they didn't really tell us why, but that's what they did.
Mm-hmm. And when you got the news, how did they tell you? Did they say, John, come into the office, or did they text you, or how did it work?
They had me come in the office and they just told me. I mean, generally the salesperson or sales floor manager actually told me she was really starting to cry because for her it was the hardest one to let go. Which was me.
Yeah.
Who was the easiest one?
That I don't know.
Like,
Demetrius, come
like,
on.
Who was the guy that you were like, damn, bro, I can't wait to see them get rid of you?
It was Steve. That lazy fucker was never on time. He's the worst employee. John's like, I don't know how that dude stayed as long as he did.
I got fired once by someone who was crying.
Did you?
He was like a good friend of mine. He's like, yeah, I gotta let you go. I was like, yeah, I know. I wasn't a very good employee back then.
I remember.
Nobody that's ever fired me has cried.
I remember.
I've never been fired. No, I'm kidding.
I remember my first radio job, my first programming job. The afternoon guy, we had to let him go because I was doing nights, and then they made me the program director, and I was going to be the new afternoon guy. So I had to fire the afternoon guy that had been there for years, and I started crying. And to the end, where he's like, "Man, it's okay, dude. I'll be all right." And he like was consoling me because I felt I was like 20, dude. I'd never fired anybody before. It was the worst. Now, John, I know that your brother posted on Facebook. What happened after that you got fired? I mean, you walk to work every day. It doesn't matter how cold it is, right?
No matter how cold, or if it's raining, thundering, lightning, I'll still go. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you love your job that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, so when your brother posted on Facebook, what happened?
I mean, it really started blowing up, but in terms of, I got maybe 1 or 2 messages about jobs, but mainly I've been just kind of going my own way a little bit. I mean, I'm appreciative of all the offers and other stuff that has come along, but like, if anything, like my top 3 places I would like to work at would be like Target, maybe the Apple Store, because the mall is like right across the street from where I live.
Right.
And then Target is right down the road. The 3rd place would be GameStop, mostly because I'm a huge fan of video games, and it's like everything, like I said, nerdy in between. So it's like that's the perfect fit.
Right. So you're ready to take your talents to it and sign with another team because
Yes.
I agree. He's a free agent. He's ready to sign with another team. If you're listening, Apple. If you're listening, at the mall, the Apple Store would be perfect for you. You look like an Apple Store guy, John. Except you're not pretentious enough. You need to be a little more pretentious to be at the Apple Store. Those guys like wear beanie caps in the inside, which is weird. But oh, sorry, D. What? Don't look at me like that. Well, all right. Have you gone into the Apple Store, any of those stores, and said, "Hey, I'm available now"?
Well,
are you having your agent, your brother agent work?
I've put in like last night. I put in applications into both Target and the Apple Store.
Nice.
There are some former Best Buy employees that work at the Apple Store, and they're, as soon as they heard about what was going on, they're like, "Hey, if you apply, I'll vouch for you, and then see what goes from there."
Nice.
That's awesome.
Do you ever think about just walking into the Apple Store and just activating people's phones without any authorization whatsoever? Just like go in there and like pick the laziest Apple employee you can see and then just stand next to him and do his job or her job and just be like, "Guess what, bitch? You're not coming to work tomorrow."
You make it.
What about this, D? Here's what you do. You put on a beanie cap. We'll get you all dressed the way they would dress, right? Because they have tables there where they conduct seminars. So you just walk in and just start doing a seminar.
Well, it's
like you're an employee, and
then on the side start selling Girl Scout cookies.
Don't take any advice from these guys, John.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say I can't even actually walk into the Apple Store because they have security in the mall.
You're not allowed in the mall, John. It's gonna be
I'm allowed in the mall, but they at the Apple Store, since I don't know you've even heard, there are several fights that happen in the mall, and even during the COVID stuff, they had to have like security around the Apple Store area because there'd be people basically like getting mad about the fact that they couldn't go in because they kept shutting down because of COVID and stuff, and they didn't understand.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh man!
All right, well, that's some drama over across the street from you, John.
If I were you, I would walk in with a baseball bat and be like, "Evidently, I'm the only employee here who's prepared to defend all this merchandise.
Yes.
I don't know what these people bring. Maybe it's not passion, but
that's a great point. That's a great point.
Or John, just fill out an application. How about that?
Yeah, let's just start there.
An application. That's everyone. Everyone fills out an application. Gina.
Yeah, gotta walk in.
You gotta stand out.
No, you have to know what you do is fill out the application and then walk it there and hand it in person.
Go to Target, wear red pants
without your baseball bat.
Here.
Without the bat.
Go to Target, wear red pants and a tan shirt. Fuck up their whole scheme. Like nobody, you're like a reverse employee. It'll be crazy.
That's happened to me once before. I walked into a Target wearing the red shirt, khaki pants, and everything, and the customer thought I actually worked, and I was like, "No."
You know what, John? That's happened to me too, and I got like lightweight offended, but because red shirt and khaki pants is a good outfit. That's a responsible outfit for anywhere you go.
They actually did that at the Best Buy in Manhattan. They actually did a flash mob thing where a bunch of people just showed up in blue shirt and khakis, and just started just standing around and confusing the crap out of actual customers.
All right, go ahead, Donnie P.
I was just gonna say, definitely start with Gina's advice and put the application in. But if you don't hear back within like a day, you definitely have to show up politely. Don't Karen, but politely ask to speak to the manager, and then you have to sell yourself. They have to know if they know half of your story that we know just from knowing you for these last 10 minutes and yesterday. There's no way they wouldn't hire you, but they're not going to know that from an application. So the only way to get that is to get face to face, and I would recommend doing that.
And how about this? How about we just go back to you just go back to Best Buy and tell them that you don't accept being fired. Like you don't accept those results. There are other people whose votes have yet to be counted until to determine whether or not that your job was stolen from you by somebody else.
Yes.
Well, he needs to be somebody that appreciates
two to be fired.
Russian.
It takes two to be fired: the firee and the firer. And I do not agree.
So you go, just keep going to Best Buy. You already have the uniform. Don't turn the uniform in. Just keep going there every day and say
with the red stapler.
Refuse to be fired. Number one. Number two, go to the Apple store with the baseball bat and you walk in and say, they can take my phone, but they can never take my freedom.
Yep.
Your face painted.
They will never update your iOS.
All right, brother. Well, John, good luck to you, man. Thank you for taking time to talk to us. Keep us updated on your future, okay?
Yeah, we want to know where you land so we can shop where you work.
Absolutely.
Good luck, John.
Yeah, see, John, you let whoever you go, just let them know, hey, we're gonna have 6 new customers just because I work there.
And they might just have and they might have baseball bats.
No. That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Don't make my new friends show up here.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, John. We love you, man.
No Good luck, John.
Thank you.
There it is, John Myers. I love that kid.
No, that's awesome.
I know, he's so cute.
I just put in a message. I didn't want to say anything to him, but I know a couple people that work at Target, so I just put in a message to see if I know anybody with hiring power at Target to see if we can't get John a job.
I heard Target's a good spot to work.
Yes, it is. Every employee that I know there is extremely happy.
Dude, I want to work there, but I'm afraid that I'll just buy my paycheck. So,
right.
Guess I shouldn't.
My aunt works at Target.
What's that?
Or my aunt used to work at Target.
Yeah.
That's the reason I don't work at restaurants, Ashley, because there goes my paycheck.
Oh, yeah, seriously.
You know what? Another job everyone seems happy with. I talked to a lot of Door Dashers. First of all, every one of them does smokes weed because they did an informal poll one time, and I walked in. You smoke weed? Oh yeah, and they're not even apologetic about it. But every single one, 99% of them smoke weed. Which is interesting. But the second
which has got to be the hardest thing in the world. You're high and all that food smell in your car, just like it's like Temptation Island every day.
Well, they're taking the fry tax whenever they're delivering.
I wonder if there's a way you can
that's disgusting, and I hope not.
On DoorDash and let the driver know that you're trying to order something extra, I would like a Coke with 1 piece of ice, and then they know that means that you're going to order some extra stuff from them personally.
It's code.
It's code
for here. Take the second batch of French fries from the McDonald's.
Right, exactly.
That's yours. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah. Put it in the notes. I'm only expecting one of these large fries.
Yeah. You're like the old granny that pushed hands over the snacks to the favorite grandchild. Shh, don't say anything.
But they do it to all. That's what my grandma used to do. She used to tell us all we were her favorite, but then say don't tell the other ones. And so that's what I do with my kids now. Is whenever they do something for me, I'll be like, "You're my favorite, but don't tell the others." But I do it in front of the other ones, so all of them know. So none of them believe me.
That's funny. All right,
our kids would cry if we ever did that.
Thank you, Jessica, by the way. But anyway, my point of the DoorDash thing was that every single one of them that comes in loves their job. We're talking about jobs that people love. Every single one. They're making about $20 an hour, and they work when they want. You can turn the app on and you're getting orders. When you're done, you turn the app off. I mean, it's no different. I mean, people know Uber or whatever, but people love their jobs. And everyone that I talk to, I'm like, you can do this in Florida. Why do you can DoorDash? Because once you're approved, you can just drive into any city and just turn your app on, and you can start picking food up. So I'm like, why do you stay here? And then I talked to this one kid, and him and his buddy went to Florida for a week, and they paid for their trip they would DoorDash during the day.
Really?
Yeah. Why not? You pick some.
That's awesome.
Make a couple $100 a day between the two of you, and then you just stay down in Florida for a week, and you're getting paid working, and in your off time, you're on the beach.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more to that story, but okay, yes, that's great.
Yeah,
you could actually do that.
I honestly feel like it ends in a meth story, right? Like it ends in DoorDash, meth, Florida.
Well, I mean,
I
or
had to
they
sleep
had
for
money.
42
saved.
days.
Well, you'd have to pay
You
for it
have
up
to have
front. Like
money.
I'd get like an Airbnb or something like that. You'd have to pay for that up front, but then you can make the money back while you're there.
But no, you really don't have to, though, because if you're going hotel night by night, like, okay, even locally, a lot of these dashers, what they do is they pick a number. So, hey, I have to make $100 a day. I have to make $150 a day. I have to make $200 a day. And they start dashing, and then they just dash until they hit their number for that day, and then they're done. It doesn't matter if it takes them 3 hours, if it takes them 12 hours, they just dash until they hit their number.
See,
So
that's where you lose me. I couldn't do it because you're
Through
calling
the
it dashing,
snow.
and I don't dash. I just don't.
We should make a food delivery service for like bigger people and call it like sauntering or lumbering.
Yes,
Like,
yes, that's what I do.
Door mosey?
Yes, or moseying. It'll get to
Shuffling.
you in like 45 minutes.
So
Well-
you guys, I tried to the other day. I didn't want to go anywhere to get food, and I didn't want to cook, and so I tried DoorDash, order on the way, and Uber. And I live in the hood to the point where I can't get any one of them motherfuckers to deliver to me. Nobody will deliver here, you guys,
Go ahead, Donny.
except Bambinos.
Bambinos don't play.
Because that guy's
Before
got a
COVID,
bat.
They're in the
Good,
hood
Donny.
too. That's why they're not that far from me. Yeah, I can't.
Or-
Nobody will deliver to me. This is like such first world
I would.
problems, but it's
Donny
so
will.
irritating.
If I was still driving, I would. Before COVID, I was door dashing or I was Ubering, but I would have my Uber Eats on too. So I'd get a lot of food orders, and you'd end up getting to a restaurant and waiting, and there'd be like 2 or even 3 other drivers, like for Dash and for Uber Eats and stuff. So you'd start chatting, but we'd run out of stuff to say. So we always ask the same questions, like, "Oh, hey, what time did you start tonight?" And then they'd tell you, and then like, "What time you going till?" And then they'd say something, and then like, "Yeah, cool, bye." Like we'd say the exact.
Is there
What time
like
did you log on? What time did you log on? What time you getting off?
is there like a I'm sorry, Andrew.
No,
Just
go.
like okay, so there's dashing, there's Uber Eats. Is there like a competitiveness or like a gang kind of related kind of shit? Like when like a
I'll tell you,
dasher
yeah.
walks up to an Uber Eats, is he like
So
When
Yeah.
you're a dasher,
no, for real,
It's a good question, Donny.
because
Like,
the
is there a
dashers
hierarchy?
are.
Is there a hierarchy
Yes.
where because I know you guys all look down on Postmates. Like, Postmates, get out of here, dude.
Like
hey, they're the
I
only ones
think
that deliver Popeyes.
when you're doing food, I feel like the door dashers have more cred because they all have this sweet like swag and the sweet bag, and like I was just doing it as a side to the driving, so I never even had a bag. So I'm just standing there like I really need to get a bag.
You
Like,
have to know, babe.
I
You got
know
one.
I got it after I bought a bag eventually from Walmart, but I never actually used it. It was like I never actually took it to work. So like I never had a bag, so I would just walk out with the food, in bags, just carrying it out. And everyone else has these sweet bags, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm such a turd compared to these door dashers."
It's funny you say that because I was talking to 2 dashers one time, and one left with the food, right? And they brought their bag in, their red DoorDash bag, and they put the food in and whatever. And then when he walked out, the other guy says, "Dork, no one brings their bags in." I'm like, wow.
man? See, look,
So
like
see,
he's-
it's a real
he-
thing. It's the
yeah, he was like
Wow.
new to the dash game. Nobody hipped him to like. You can always pick out the newbies. They come in that fresh red
Right.
shirt,
With a
and
nice
you're like,
bag,
oh yeah.
nice red
Oh,
bag.
and I'll tell you, the cooler you are is how quickly you grab your food too. Like the less you have to look at it. Like I was at I was at this one place. I was actually there to pick up food for myself, I think, and like some Dasher came in and they have like a rack full of food. Literally, there's like 10 orders. Walks in, grabs an order, barely looks at it. He must have like had some spidey sense. Grabs it, walks out. I'm like, that's a pro right there. That's that guy.
He knew his order.
Yeah,
he's the real deal.
That's the Jordan of dashing right there.
It was.
That guy just walked in. He's gonna get a shoe deal. It's gonna be crazy.
His name was Michael Gordon.
See now,
Michael Gordon.
now I just want to like order from DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats at the same time from the same place and see what happens.
Well, here's the other thing too. We're starting to mosey. They may take a little longer.
Yeah.
And you may have a few fries missing, but we're cheaper.
Whatever. DoorDash, that should be DoorDash's tagline because they're not ever on time. The food is always cold. I have never had a good experience, and it makes me mad.
And that's probably.
Go ahead, D.
That's probably because every one of them too cool to bring their bags into the restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I think they should. You should bring your bags, and you get the hot food right into the bag. It's annoying. Go ahead, Donnie.
This is like not dashing, but Ubering. I have to tell a story. I think I might have told it before, but the first time I ever Ubered, my very, very first pickup, I had the Soul, and I picked up like it was I think 2 or 3 girls and a dude, and they were going partying downtown, and we're halfway there. We're on the Anthony Wayne Trail, and I realized that I never turned the child locks off in the back seat. And I'm like, I have to tell these people that I'm not that the back doors are locked because they can't get out. You know, when I stop, they're not gonna be able to get out. So I'm like, so you guys, funny story. You guys are actually my first ride, and I got a bunch of kids. I mean, you can tell by the sticker on the window. I forgot to turn the child locks off. I'm not trying to like kidnap you or murder you, and like. They were like,
wait, hold on. Which is what a kidnapper or murderer would say.
Right.
That's exactly what the guy said. He goes, that's exactly what a kidnapper or murderer would say. I was like, I know, you're right.
You're like, I have 1 million kids. It's just from our actual life, I promise.
Oh, it was so embarrassing.
I love Rick Jones says, that's because you've never dashed with Rick Jones.
He says his name like that, you guys. That's real life. This is how he talks.
Rick?
What's up, Rick?
Yeah, Donnie knows him, so yes, he knows.
Go Browns.
So funny, dude. But yeah, I want to say one more thing about dashing, and I can't remember now. But anyway, it was they're good, interesting people for sure. But they love their jobs. They all seem to love it, love doing it. All right.
Well, you would love it too if you could start it whenever and end it whenever.
I know.
I've thought about it. I've thought about doing it. Like, why not? Why don't I want to? But I guys, I don't even want to go pick my own food up.
But I'll tell you why not, Gina, because if you just get on Facebook and look at the news stories, there's at least one headline a day about some driver or deliverer getting slashed. So
okay, but here's the thing.
That's Ashley, why I will not ever.
Millions and millions of people deliver stuff without getting slashed.
I know, it's keep it in perspective.
And I cannot live by the exception, because if I live by the exception, I'm never going. I'm gonna have agoraphobia. I'm never gonna leave my house.
Same.
Yeah.
And so you can't live by the exception. And if I get slashed, that's why I'm fat. It's a lot to get through. They're not going to reach anything important. It'll take a lot. It'll be okay.
But see that they go like, then they say, it's like 1 out of every 1 million people who work for Dash get killed. And you have to ask yourself, well, what number are we on right now? Is it 990,000? Do I have a good cushion of 10,000, or are we at 999,999? Like, what the hell? Like, am I that guy now? I don't want to be that guy.
Right. Well, but here's the one thing I did want to say, because going to Ashley's point real quick, and Ashley said that, the food's always late and cold. So here's what you start doing is a restaurant. If you have a restaurant, start putting the time it was ready. Hey, I had this ready and prepared for pickup and we started doing that on boxes, because then if it's an hour late, well, it's their fucking fault. Then
they can't blame the restaurant, because they do.
The restaurant, because the time. Yeah, of
course. I watched a Dasher make a stop. I don't want to call him out, but I watched him make a stop because I was at work and I ordered food for me and a couple people, and he picked it up. And then I watched him go into one of the neighborhoods by work and stop for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I'm like, oh, what are you doing, man? He must have had to take a deuce break or something. I don't know.
It wasn't Michael Gordon, of course.
It was not Michael Gordon.
Yeah, not the Michael Gordon.
But
I'm like, I don't think he realized we're tracking his ass right now.
Or like George. I wish a motherfucker would. But here's the other thing too: is like. I'm like, hand them the food. I'm like thinking they're going to get out. Then they want to small talk you. I'm like, you guys got hot food. Roll, go. Yeah. That's why I'm like, you know what? Now that I got the time on there, I'm not worried about, we do the best we can to make sure it's warm. It's hot. And then if your stupid ass wants to lollygag, the time is on there. And then one dasher saw him put it on there. He's like, oh man, you're putting some pressure on me. I'm like, man. Got to do it.
Yeah.
This is a symbiotic relationship, my friend.
Yeah.
And that's the dasher that shows up late and blames it on the restaurants. That was him. That was the guy.
He's like, oh man, you put the time on there.
Yeah. Yes, I did. What? This isn't. You think you could just show up, grab a bag of food, and deliver it whenever? They don't yell at you. They yell at me. Yep. Yes. Tommy, I put the time on it.
Yeah, you don't get you don't get a soggy grilled cheese and be like, man, that dasher. No, you get the soggy grilled cheese from the grilled cheese place, and you're pissed at the grilled cheese place.
But food is like, we should just know better though, because even when I go to my own drive-through or pickup, we are not very far from any of those restaurants we eat at, and our food is still pretty gross by the time you get home. So you almost have to just eat in your car.
How are we talking about food again?
Always.
Because it's the dead of winter and we have nothing else to freaking do except eat right now. So
right,
let us have
and
our
everybody
happiness.
eats. So we're not. It's kind of like everybody poops. Those are two things we can count on. So we don't. We can be relatable to everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody eats.
All right, let's go over to Ebenezer Bushrod for the WTF news. Ebenezer,
well, I got some feel good news here.
Oh, okay.
Out in North Carolina, they had an F3 tornado rip through Ocean Isle Beach the other day, and when this happened, Brittany Memory was concentrating mostly on just protecting her son and getting him out of harm's way. That she didn't have time to do anything for her Yorkshire Terrier, Penny. Well, as it turns out, the Yorkshire Terrier got ripped out of the home by the tornado, and along with the sheets. Apparently, the tornado ripped the sheets off the bed.
Wow.
And this devastated her and her kid. They didn't know where their dog was. They didn't know if it was alive or dead. But come a couple hours later, coming up the road, comes this tiny little Yorkshire Terrier plodding its way on home
with the sheets in the mouth.
No, not without the sheets. Yeah, that tornado yeeted the dog. Nice. But yeah, it came back. It was a little shaky, a little traumatized, but otherwise unharmed.
Wow, look at that.
On there. So a little feel good. Reunited.
I love, Chris, how you were like, and this tornado was so strong, it ripped the sheets off a bed.
I mean, it's weird.
I thought there was significance to that.
I know. I was like,
the only significance was that it was weird.
I thought the Yorkie was coming back with sheets in its mouth, dragging them back to the house or something.
No, there
was no point to the sheets part.
That was literally just a point they pointed out in the article, so I figured I'd say it.
Go ahead,
well,
I agree with Josh. Oh, go ahead, Donnie.
I pictured like a sheet cot, like hanging in a tree,
How's
like
it
a dog was in the sheet cot.
Well, it wasn't that it wasn't a feel good story, Tiefel. It was a feel good story, but it started out. You were like, "Here's a feel good story." There was a tornado. The sheets got ripped off the bed. The dog got eaten out of the house, and their house was destroyed. And I'm sitting here like, whoa, if this is feel good, I don't want to know what's the bad part.
The dog came back.
And then the dog comes back wrapped in sheets, and now is a member,
like a
high-ranking member of the clan.
The dog comes back with a sheet tied to it like a cape, just walking down the street. He's following behind it.
He's now the Grand Wizard of the Yorkshire Tire Ku Klux Klan faction in North Carolina. He blames us all on minorities and Jews. It's the horribleness of a racist Yorkshire Terrier.
Racist.
The tornado threw the sheets and the puppy so high into the air that they somehow tied into a knot around his little puppy legs, and he just gently parachuted down to the
shoot
ground.
it down right back into the middle of the debris of where the house was.
These are all better stories.
Aw, Tiefel sad.
Or how about the disdain that this Yorkie now has for his family because he knows who's important. So you save the kid. You weren't thinking about me until after I got yeeted out of the house by the tornado.
Well, sorry. I think kids are going to win for me over animals every time.
Well, yeah, but Animal doesn't know that. He just found that out for the first time.
That's
Animals
a toss-up for me, you guys.
It's a toss-up.
Yeah.
She's got 7 kids.
Sometimes
they protect each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes
one
I
dog,
feel
you got
literally.
7 kids.
I feel like it depends on who's closer at that point.
Yeah.
Like, who can I get to?
Well, that's a fat people thing. Am I going to mosey over to the kid who's closer, or mosey on way over and catch the dog? I'm like, man,
Dude, that's so easy. You know how easy you have it as a parent when you can just lean over to your child and go, "You want to stay close to me because I'm not a fast mover, and if something happens." And you don't want me to try to run after you.
Have you been listening to my conversations with my kids, D? That's that may or may not have actually happened.
I sweated just thinking of this sentence.
If something goes down and I have to run after you, you guys are screwed.
Sometimes I think about that, like with my kids, because I feel like maybe I'm an overreactor about so much stuff that when there's like actually something to react for, they're gonna be like, "What?
Oh my god,
it's fine."
Rick Jones,
and I'll be like, "No, come run now."
Rick Jones is funny. He says, like, look, when you wake up in the middle of the night and trip over your dog paws, your dog thinks that you just woke up to kick him. He doesn't know.
I want to say thank you, Rick, for spelling pause Pause.
It caused me to take a pause. I was like, wait a minute, what?
Is that right?
So here's the thing: he can spell and he's smart, but I think he gets to type in too fast because that's what my texts look like from him a lot too. He just types too fast.
That'd be voice typing.
So
His
one
name's Rick
time
Jones.
I
He can do whatever he wants.
Speaking of kids and not doing anything, this just reminded me of the time that Bella, we lived in this house and the stairs were like cement, like they were like hard floors, not cement, but they were hard floor. And Bella fell from the top of the stairs all the way. She was like 1.5. She fell from the top of the stairs all the way down, like slid, tumbled all the way down the stairs. And I was pregnant with Gabby. Like it was like a week before I had her. So I'm big, fat, pregnant, and I'm standing at the top of the stairs, watched my kid tumble all the way down. And she's crying. She's at the bottom of the stairs crying, but she was moving. So that was a good sign. And I said, come here. I made her crawl all the way back up the stairs because I was too pregnant. I couldn't run after her. There was nothing I could do.
But here's how the story ends. And then I kicked her back down the steps and taught her another lesson about how you don't fucking listen to people who ask you to do dangerous shit.
All of our kids fell down our stairs. Remember when we lived in Sylvania, babe? Every single one of them. And it was just like, you just stand there and you're like, what is happening? Like, you don't even have a reaction to it until they're like done. And you're like, oh my God.
Well, yeah, because you have to wait to see if they cry.
Yeah, you
have to wait and see if they cry.
No, it's horrible. Honestly, it's like one of the worst memories of it just makes me feel so
it is
horrible.
Awful watching that happen, but I felt so bad because I couldn't get to her. There was no way I would have, it would have took me longer to get down the stairs than it would take her to get back to me. So I just come here, baby.
Come on up, honey. Just take it real easy.
One crawling up the stairs crying.
I love how Tiefel started with a feel-good story, and then Janelle said, Tiefel, is this how it was when you were booed off stage at the prison?
I think ours was a little nicer.
So
here, let us help you.
Moving
Tiefel.
on. Matthew Lebsack, railroad engineer for Union Pacific, apparently had a very bad day a little while back and took a dump on the connector between two cars, which forced his coworkers to have to clean it up they had nothing but paper towels and bottled water. And he of course, got fired for this. And well, he appealed his firing with the union, and the appeals board within the union said, you know what? You're right. You shouldn't have gotten fired. And they based their decision on his record and his mitigating circumstances, but said that another such incident like this should never be tolerated again. So apparently, according to the union board, you get one poop. And now Union Pacific has appealed it time and time again until finally now the court has, and court after court has now agreed that the man gets his job back after pooping randomly in an open area to get back at his boss.
But if you're on a train and there's no
the bathroom was 3 feet away.
Huh.
He was making a statement.
First, I give anybody props for being able to hit any kind of target while trying to shit on it. Like it's a very hard thing to do. Kara and I had a conversation about that Cola guard, you know, that shit in the box.
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
the
shit in the box, and then put it in the mail, and they'll tell you if you got colon cancer.
Yeah, no thanks.
Kara was like, "Do they give you a cup? Is it a tube?" and I was like, "Well, first of all, I would give anybody props if you could shit in a tube. If you can just hold the tube and shit in it, big props to you. But I think it's a bag, right? So if you can shit." If you could shit on the connector, good job.
Well, and here's the thing is, have you ever had to do the pee samples? Like, how do you not get it all over your hand? Like,
right?
Try doing it when you're pregnant and fat.
Like, I assume like you're like squatting and like you're like. And you're doing some pulling. You're pulling your butt cheek, and you're
the visual is great right now.
Why are you doing that for a urine sample?
You mind if I
talking
ask you a few questions?
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of, Don.
Why?
Ace Ventura forever.
If you're listening to the podcast and not watching the video, I'm sorry.
Yes.
If you're watching the video, I'm sorry.
Valid. Either way, we apologize.
What else, Tiefel?
Well, apparently the streets will be running red in Mexico City thanks to the 2-year-old mayor and climate activists' policies of trying to get rid of plastic in the city. It has had unintended consequences as now tampons have become victim of it, and there is a large shortage with little to no alternatives available in the city.
Well, that's what happens when you elect a 2-year-old mayor.
Well,
that confused me for a second too.
She's been mayor for 2 years. So, well, now now there's debate on whose fault it is. There's debate because technically this policy was announced back in 2019, and feminine hygiene companies have had plenty of time to come up with alternative packaging and applicators to meet the standards. Mexico City.
Yeah, I just feel like no one else should be making these fucking tampon rules unless they're a woman actively on their period. So let's move on.
That's what I'm saying. Is now there's a very large shortage of feminine hygiene products in Mexico City, and women find themselves in a sticky situation.
Yeah,
it's hard for us to comment on this as dudes. Let's go back to the deuce on the caboose.
The last one, New Jersey man.
Wait, isn't that a kid's book?
Yes, deuce on the caboose.
It's gonna be now.
By Andrew Z in the morning.
All right, so a New Jersey man was trying to get rid of a stubborn piece of ice and snow in his yard, and decided that dousing it with gasoline and setting it on fire was the best solution he could come up with. And all that ended up being happening from that is a neighbor calling 911 and hazmat having to show up because of the gasoline. And he ended up causing an entire day's worth of trouble for emergency responders because he couldn't be bothered to just deal with the snow.
What other
did you guys ever see the
pass over?
Yeah.
To pick that one.
Did you ever see the video of the dude that was like flame throwing his driveway? Like,
yeah.
That to me, I'm like, that's genius, and I don't understand where the problem is.
Oh, no, the flamethrower thing I love, but this dude, he just doused a patch of ice and snow with gasoline, set it on fire, black smoke going everywhere. Neighbors afraid. They call emergency services. They had to bring out hazmat to clean up the gasoline.
It's fire on snow. Grow up, neighbors.
Yeah, right. Well, the flamethrower thing I've always thought was a bad idea because you're just making a bunch of water that's going to melt or that's going to freeze unless you have a ton of salt, but you're going to have a lot of ice problems.
That's why you have to attach a salt thrower to your flamethrower.
Right. Salt backpack.
Yes, and salt while you flame.
There you go.
D, let's invent this and patent it and get rich. Let's do it.
Remember, everyone, to please go out and buy Deuce and the Caboose for your kids.
Yes.
Make sure you buy the brand
It's
new,
a shitty book with a great message.
The forward by Zach.
And it's also brought to you by the new flame-throwing rock salt shooter.
Yeah, fire and ice is what we call it.
Fire and ice.
Yes. Fire and ice. Yes. Does anybody else do that? Like when you got to put down salt, does anybody say I have to go ice the sidewalks? Because I always call salt ice. Yeah, I don't know, and I cannot get my brain to do it right.
It's so stupid and annoying, and I don't even know why we do it. But I always tell Donnie, I'm like, we have ice all over our floors, but it's the salt stuff. Yeah. And I keep saying it. I'm like, there's no ice on the floor. Why do I keep saying ice?
It's just so you two. This isn't a group thing.
Yeah, I've never heard of this my whole life.
Yes. This is just you two.
No, it's definitely.
You know what, Ashley? Let's just say it's because we do so much in a day that our brains just don't have the capacity to switch the two up. It's why.
Yeah, exactly.
They all just don't do enough. That's all it is. Yeah, that's why.
Ebenezer Bushrider with WTF News. We're out of here. The East Side, South Side, Gina, Demetrius Nicodemus, Ashley P, Donny P, Chris Tiefel, I'm Andrew Z, Georgia Tiefel. Thank you. Bye, everybody. We'll see you Monday.
Bye.
Come on.